we go over that toll bridge a lot.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, during the season, it's $3 every time you go over, and it's $2 in the off season, and it adds up. And so before I break into this story, I wanted to kind of look at the toll bridge and the history just a little bit, because for those of you that are new to the area or watching from afar, you might not know exactly what we're talking about. But in 1990, the Missouri Transportation Corporation Act became law. That created a challenge for the Lake of the Ozarks area. They needed to build a bridge across the lake to connect the two sides. Now, the east side of the lake is the means for St. Louis area, that part of the country, whereas the west side they considered the means for the Kansas City side,
right,
or visitors. An obvious solution to this was to finance such an undertaking, and so at such time in 1992, the Lake of the Ozarks Community Bridge Corporation was formed. Back in 92, believe it or not.
Wow.
In 96, construction began, and on May 1st, 1998, the bridge was officially dedicated. Now, fast forward to 2012, Lake of the Ozarks Community Bridge Corporation was restructured, and the community bridge ownership and operation was assumed by the Lake of the Ozarks Community Bridge Transportation Development District. That's a mouthful, right? Which is still the case today. They have approximately 15 employees, and they're governed by a board of directors. Now, today the bridge remains a paid toll bridge, and locals have often asked the question, when will that toll go away?
Yeah.
Well, we seem to be getting getting an answer that might be closer than you might think. Now, KRMS had a story on last Thursday, October 5th. They had a couple of officials on their morning magazine, and looks like it's going to be coming soon. Now, the initial bond maturity date, Chris, was in 2026, meaning that the money it costs to start the project. However, after speaking to toll bridge officials on Monday, they're actually projecting an early payoff of that $43 million bond. Now, that was initially needed to finance the planning, development, and construction of the bridge. And that's why we pay that toll, right? To pay that back. That amount could be paid off early, they're telling me, but I said, how early? So I went back and listened to their interview on KRMS Thursday, and officials said, we've always targeted 2026. Well, with the improved economy first, and then the bump that we got down here with the COVID quarantine mandates, that was a windfall for a lot of the industries down here, and that included the toll bridge. So they're projecting spring 2024, as early as April or May of next year. So you'd be looking at 5, 6, 7 months down the road. And a realistic, should be done by this date, is summer of 2024. So we're less than a year away based on these projections after speaking to toll bridge officials. Now, officials say they have spoken to their employees, and that realistic projection of spring, December 24 is the date they're giving their staff as well. Now, if all came to fruition at the time that the bridge was paid off or those funds were available, the bridge would then pay the bonds back in full and turn over any remaining assets, ownership, and control to the third party, which is MoDOT, and they would presumably probably tear down that toll. I mean, MoDOT would be in control of that.
Yep.
They'd probably remove that toll, probably widen the roads a little bit, add some landscaping, things of that nature. I mean, among many other possibilities. But the cool thing is, as early as April or May of next year, we get to stop paying that toll.
Wow.
And on a latter date, like summer.
Wow.
And this is just as long as they don't have any unforeseeable things take place, of course, with the new COVID or whatever you call it, spike it back up. Things happen. 2008 market crash, with where the world's at. A wide variety of things could happen, but this is really cool. Another thing is, let's say that you pay in advance, like annually, or you pay on your card like we do at Lake TV.
Yep.
They are going to refund any remaining credit that you've got with the toll bridge. So they're asking that anybody with cards make sure that you have an updated address with the Lake of the Ozarks Community Bridge, because they'll be issuing those refunds when that comes to fruition. But how cool is that?
I'm excited, man. It'll be great not having to pay every time you go across that bridge. That'll be fantastic. And to have it done early, how incredibly cool is that?